Hi, welcome back to Bruce Fixes Stuff. I'm Bruce, and the stuff that we're going to fix today is a project that's very near and dear to my heart, one I've had for a long time, been working on a little bit here and there in my spare time. But now my buddy Jeff and I are going to tackle this and get it done as soon as we can. Now, let me introduce you to the project. None other than the General Lee from Dukes of Hazzard fame. This is a replica that I've had for 27, maybe 28 years. I've got new floor pans in it and some other assorted parts here and there. We still have some finishing to do on that. That's coming up later. But on today's episode, we've got to paint under the hood. The engine and transmission I took out as a one-piece unit. We've got to clean them all up, get them all ready to go back in. And maybe paint a few other details, little parts, and maybe a surprise or two along the way. So I've taken way too long on this project already. I don't want to waste another minute, so let's get on it.
So we're restoring the General Lee back to his former glory. We're having fun creating more stories. With no one on the doors, the flag on the roof, he'll roar once again, that'll be the proof. It'll be the proof.
Now the plan for today is not to pretend that I'm the engine. If it was, I'd have to be going this way, pushing. Okay, I'm the engine. Now, the plan for today is to take some cleaner and try to clean all up in here, and see if I can get this prepped ready enough to paint. Since this is going to take forever, I should probably do this on the time lapse. Okay, now I'm going to attempt to paint this thing inside here. Is this the recommended way to do it? No. Is it the way I'm going to do it? Yeah. You know, the one thing I didn't really factor into this is how am I going to get in and out of here when I've got fresh paint. This is not good, but I've left a spot where I can get around. Now that I'm out of the way, you can see that it's starting to come. That's just the first coat, but it's coming. Now this is going base coat right over the spray-on bed liner. It's not going over primer or anything like that it probably should be. So this is kind of an experiment to see how well this will work. Well, there it is after the first coat of base. It's going to need some more, obviously. It's going to need like 3, maybe even 4 coats, but it should be all nice and orange under here very soon. Then it's going to... So here's how the generally looks like under the hood in the base coat. This is just the base coat. There's no shine to it, really. Now I'm going to do the clear and see how it looks when the clear is done. You'll see a big difference between base and clear. Look who's coming! Frosty the Snowman.
Oh, it's going to be a good day.
It's supposed to snow all day and all night. Yes, I got the stuff under the hood done. I got the black all finished. So the black is ready. I've got tape there because I'm going to spray the tunnel underneath the transmission that I haven't done already.
Okay.
So that when we put the transmission in, everything above it that you can't get at will already be orange. I'm trying to clean the steering box so I can paint it before I put it in. I'm using carb cleaner and degreaser and any other kind of cleaner I can find, and scrubbing it with this brush here. It's coming. It's getting there. It's a lot better than it was. And I have a few cans of this carb cleaner stuff laying around that I haven't used in years, so might as well use it for something good, right? So now we'll come back to this once it's clean and see what a difference it made. Then we'll try painting it. Now I've got the steering box cleaned and primered. Well, started to primer it. I was just using spray can primer because I wanted to see if it would even stick first, if I had it clean enough, and it seems to be sticking fine. I started with red primer, I ran out of that, I continued on with gray primer, thus the color. But anyway, what I realized was that before I put this back in there, I have to find the bolts that hold it on. And as you can see by the holes, they're pretty decent sized thickness bolts. Now, I'm not really sure if the engine's going to need to be painted or just cleaned, because it was painted just before it came out. Well, about a year or two before, but it didn't drive much. I'm trying to clean up the transmission to see how clean I can make it look. If I can get it nice and shiny, maybe I'll clear coat it or something, or maybe I'll just leave it like that. But I want to see if I can polish it and get it a little bit cleaner and nicer. So I'm just cleaning one little spot right there right now. And we'll see how that turns out. Okay, now that we got it cleaned off and, well, more or less, we're going to take the brake cleaner and spray it on here. The thing I like about brake cleaner is it cleans good and then it'll evaporate. So you don't have to worry about it leaving a film. And it comes with a little tube if you need to get into a hard to reach place. You plug that into the nozzle and you can get into hard to reach spots. But right now I'm trying to get more all over.
A little bit of full coverage.
Yeah, so then I can take my brush. I had a scrub brush up here somewhere. No, it's over here. I know what it was. I was using it to clean the transmission when the transmission was over there. This thing. That's my whisper. Oh, wow.
It's like you're doing dishes, but in the garage.
Yeah. Wait till I put this back in the kitchen. Carol's going to kill me.
Now it's clean?
Yeah, from the top when it's in, you might see this part a little bit. So maybe if we just do like here to here, just in this part.
Polish that piece.
Yeah, just to make it look sort of halfway decent so it looks respectable. And now back here we have a steering box. And this steering box needs to be painted black.
Yeah, well, I was.
A flat black will hide stuff, but a gloss black won't hide stuff. But the reason why Henry Ford said you can have it any color as long as it's black is because the black was faster drying paint. The black would dry faster than any of the other colors that were available.
And he was about efficiency.
Yeah, because the faster you can get it done, the less time you got to wait for it to dry, the more cars you can get done in an hour or a day or whatever. So, yeah, it was all about how many cars can you get done in one day. So there's one coat of black on here. And that's the excuse why Henry Ford said any color as long as it's black. Yeah, and then this is why I keep you around, Jeff, so you can tell me where I missed something. I was just doing that to see if you were paying attention. You fast, by the way.
Move down here.
That's okay, I'll
You catch it on the other side?
spray you with it. Yeah, I'm going to have to turn it over once it's dry and do the other side. So the other side is going to be against the firewall, so you won't really see it much. But a bit of it might show, so I got to make sure it's covered too.
You have a polish.
Now, I think I'm getting better with the rubbing compound than I am with the polish, the comb polish. So,
You're gonna continue on with that?
Yeah, I'll use the other as more of a finish maybe afterwards. And just use this to see if I can get the excess good.
It feels smooth.
Yeah. Using rubbing compound for paint is sort of working, but I gotta find something better. Okay, it's starting to shine up a little bit, so I'm gonna do some more in a time lapse and see how well that works out. Now, I'm going to revert back to the sander. Now, one thing about sanding aluminum is it's soft metal, but it's harder than like filler or paint or something like that. So you do go through a fair bit of sandpaper. Okay, so now I've got this partly sanded. I think I'm going to take a bit of a lunch break and see if the shop elves do some while I'm gone. So I come back in and Jeff is hard at it. So while he's working on that, I'm going to work on making a bracket for another project. And then we'll come back to this once it's all sanded down and ready to polish. So what I did was I sanded the line down. The really rough stuff, I took the flapper wheel or flap disc, and I just kind of hit it just gently along to get it down mostly, and then I used the sander to just sand it smooth. So the transmission is more or less shiny. A little bit of polishing to do at a later date, but it's pretty damn shiny. The parts that aren't, like down here, will be like up there at some point. Well, thanks for watching, and you're not going to want to miss the next episode because we're going to be working on the floors, and as a special bonus, we're going to get Jeff using the MIG welder for the first time. Let's see if he can stick a couple of pieces of metal together. Okay, so we're going to try to encourage him, and I'm sure he'll do just fine. You know, it's how hard can it be, right? He can do it, you can do it, we can all do it. Let's do it together. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, and if you do, you'll be notified when the next video drops, because you're not going to want to miss an episode of the restoration of the General Lee.